In this video, I will show you some basic selection methods inside of Photoshop, and there are a lot of different ways to select inside of Photoshop. Now, selection basically means that you are marking an area that you want to edit, and the edit could be that you're deleting it, or you're moving it around, changing the color, warping it, or what have you. So the way that we see selections inside of Photoshop is what we call marching ants. So if I pick the rectangular marquee tool and I just say make a rectangle around this red door here, you will see hopefully on your screen, or if you're following along, these marching ants. We call them marching ants because they're little dots that move around, and that shows a selection has been made. Once we have that selection, we can do all kinds of things with Photoshop. We can move the selection. We can move the actual selection that was made by using the move tool and moving that around. Also, we can change the color, the brightness. We can warp it, squash it, stretch it, copy, paste, all kinds of different things. So when we're talking about selection in Photoshop, we're talking about the area that we've made outlined in marching ants of what we want to edit. So now that we've made a selection, let's go ahead and deselect that. To do that, you go up to the top menu bar, click on Select, and hit Deselect, or Control D on PC or Command D on macOS. So I'm going to hit Deselect, and now you can see those marching ants have went away. This is one of the most common shortcut keys that you will probably use. So I would definitely recommend that one, Control D or Command D, because as you're coming in and you're making selections, you can easily hit Control D to deselect those areas. So let's say that we wanted to select this whole image. How could we do that? We would use, up in the menu bar under Select, the Select All feature, or Control A or Command A for all. So when we hit that, you can see those marching ants go around the whole image here, and that allows us to edit this whole image or this whole layer depending on the size of the image. To deselect, I can hit Control D or Command D, and to select all, I can hit Control A or Command A, and that will select everything for us. The last thing that we have up here is Reselect. Reselect just means that you're going to reselect the last action that you made. It's sort of like undo and redo, except it's just allowing you to reselect the last thing that you selected. So let's pick something like the elliptical marquee tool here. We will deselect everything. We are going to create maybe a really big circular selection here, and then we're going to deselect it. Control D. Say we wanted to bring that back. Now we could use an undo command, but if we use some other tool in the process, it would break that cycle and we wouldn't have that circle again. So if you go to the top and you hit select, you can use Reselect, Shift Control D or Shift Command D, and it will bring back the last selection that you made. That's another popular one if you're using a lot of selections, for you to be able to reselect your last selection. So just keep in mind, whenever we talk about selection, we're talking about the area that we are grabbing. So here we're grabbing the circle. That area is outlined in marching ants, and then we can manipulate that area or that selection.